Curious tone. How do you measure the strength of a character who can wipe out a universe just by thinking about it? That dilemma is the driving force behind battleboarding, a massive internet subculture dedicated to debating hypothetical fights between fictional characters. If you want to know exactly how Superman stacks up against Goku, these are the people doing the math to figure it out. To make sense of these matchups, communities like the VS Battles Wiki use a comprehensive hierarchy. This chart shows their exact tiering system, starting all the way down at Tier 11 for characters who are infinitely small, and climbing up to Tier 0, the absolute peak of existence. Ranking a top-tier god requires looking beyond physical strength. You have to measure their cosmology, the practice of calculating the exact size, structure, and spatial dimensions of the specific fictional reality they control. Drake Branton-Taylor, the protagonist of the Annals of an Angel, is a perfect example of why these tiers exist. He begins his journey at the very bottom of this scale, only to eventually reach its absolute theoretical limit. His progression highlights a specific challenge in battleboarding. How do we continue to measure a character once their feats outpace the physical laws of a singular universe? Before his powers awaken, Drake is an ordinary guy working 9 to 5 and teaching music. In battleboarding terms, he sits firmly in Tier 10, average human level. But when his latent abilities violently manifest, he ends up in a brutal, globe-spanning clash against the original Archangel, Adoniel. The two face off in London, trading over 1 million sword strikes a minute, turning Trafalgar Square into the epicenter of a planetary disaster. Adoniel lands a single punch to Drake's face with so much force that it launches him thousands of miles through the air, sending him crashing down into the ruins of ancient Greece. Every thrust of their swords and every physical collision creates massive shockwaves. They shatter the terrain, leaving vast stretches of the earth split open, scorched, and totally barren in their wake. Drake quickly retaliates. Moving faster than thought, he intercepts Adoniel and delivers a blow that knocks the Archangel all the way into the lush valleys of India. The escalation rapidly leaves Earth's atmosphere entirely. Their physical brawl becomes so intense they wind up splitting the moon, with bodies eventually careening through the vacuum of space and crashing straight into gas giants like Neptune. When battleboarders look at this sequence, they calculate the sheer kinetic force required to throw a body across a solar system. Those tangible, physical distance calculations place early awakened Drake squarely in Tier 5A, large planet level. Physical punches can only take a character so far. As Drake unlocks his true potential, the metric of his strength shifts from physical destruction to pure cosmological math. The lore of the Annals of an Angel uses a specific metric called ULEs, or Universal Levels of Energy. The conversion rate is exact. 1 ULE is equal to the total energy of an entire universe. Later in the story, another character uses a highly advanced cosmic power reader to scan Drake's energy, right after clocking Drake's phenomenally powerful suns at tens of thousands of ULEs. When they point the device at Drake, it doesn't give a number at all. The machine breaks down, completely unable to process the math, and displays a glowing infinity symbol instead. Drake actually controls the energy of trillions of universes. He eclipses his own sun's power levels by a factor of over 1.2 trillion. Controlling a countably infinite number of space-time continuums, rocket launches Drake straight into Tier 2. He is officially multiverse level, proving his strength has completely outgrown the concept of physical distance. But to climb to the very top of the hierarchy, a character has to transcend the numerical concept of infinity entirely. For Drake, this transition happens as he discovers his true identity as the First, the original source of the cosmos. This revelation shifts him from a physical entity into a metaphysical concept. He draws his power from the Void Forge, the absolute, boundless, and formless emptiness that existed before the creation of the multiverse itself. This brings us to the absolute peak of the VS Battles Wiki, Tier 0, or Boundless. To reach this tier, a character must possess a superiority that is purely qualitative rather than quantitative. You can no longer measure a tier 0 character because they completely transcend numerical dimensions. They exist outside the rules of space and time entirely. Drake wields boundless power because he actually embodies the void itself. By becoming everything and nothing at once, he occupies a state of existence that numerical principle cannot define. There is a common critique in the battleboarding community when characters reach this level. Giving a hero infinite power usually ruins the story because it eliminates all dramatic stakes. You'll frequently see complaints online that power scaling becomes absurd when writers prioritize massive mathematical feats over actual character development. Yet the Annals of an Angel keeps the tension high, even with a tier 0 protagonist at the center of the narrative. Drake remains emotionally grounded through his deeply human relationships. His connection with his boyfriend Alex keeps him tethered to mortality, giving him something intimate and vulnerable to fight for. And his limitless power comes with an immense, tragic burden. Drake is required to hold a decaying, boundless multiverse together, utilizing his own literally fractured heart to keep existence from collapsing. So, what do you think? Do you prefer stories with tier 0 boundless heroes? Or do you enjoy characters who have to work around strict physical limitations? Let us know in the comments. Because what Drake's journey shows us is that the ability to destroy multiverses means nothing without the fragile human anchors that keep those gods unbroken.